Madam Presiding Member, I make that 10 o'clock.
Thank you, Chris. Bore da, croeso. Good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to this hybrid meeting of Council. This Council meeting is being broadcast live over the internet and will be available to be viewed online now and in the future. We welcome the use of the Welsh language at meetings. I've had no requests for people to speak Welsh today, so this meeting will be conducted in English only. Members in the chamber, please be aware that we are all on camera and you may be visible on screen when people around you are speaking. Please remember to speak clearly into your microphones. Members participating remotely, can you please refrain from using the chat function and instead use the raised hand icon to indicate when you wish to speak. Please remember to keep your microphones muted when you're not talking. May I remind members that as per the statutory guidance made under Section 4 of the Local Government Wales Measure 2011 and our formally adopted hybrid meeting policy, any member attending a meeting remotely must be able to be seen and heard by members and officers who are attending the meeting, as well as by members of the public viewing the meeting. So can I ask that you all please use your cameras for the duration of this meeting, please. Moving on to the agenda. Agenda item 1 is the appointment of the presiding member, which starts on page 3 of the agenda. I'm going to ask Jason Lewis, the Director, Corporate Services and Head of Democratic Services, to present this report, please. Over to Jason.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Member. Good morning, members. The first item of business today is the appointment of a presiding member for the forthcoming municipal year. So members can have a nomination for the presiding member, please. Thank you. Seconded. Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Can I ask members for a show of hands if they agree to elect Councillor Seaborn? Thank you, members. Congratulations, Councillor Seaborn. You're appointed as presiding member for the forthcoming municipal year.
Thank you very much, Jason. Thank you very much for the confidence, members. Takes us to agenda item 2, which is the appointment of the deputy presiding member, which starts on page 5. The recommendation is on page 5 of the agenda to appoint a deputy presiding member for the municipal year ahead. Can I ask for nominations for the deputy presiding member, please?
Can I nominate Councillor David Williams?
Any other nominations? Thank you. Is that seconded? Yes, thank you. Thank you, members. Can I ask you if you're all in favour to elect Councillor David Williams for the year ahead as Deputy Presiding Member? Thank you very much. This is to agenda item 3, apologies for absence. Dominique, have we any apologies, please?
I've had apologies from Councillors Lucy Williams and David Williams.
Thank you. Any further apologies from the floor or online? Thank you. Agenda item 4 is the declarations of interest. Stella Harris, Monitoring Officer and Assistant Chief Legal Officer, do you have any advice for members, please?
Thank you, Madam Presiding Member. All members potentially have the same personal interest in appointing members to positions which would attract senior salaries. This interest is a personal interest only in accordance with the exemption in the Code of Conduct. So if I could ask all members to confirm that interest, please.
Sorry, we must start with the sleeve.
Oh. Could I ask members to all agree to that interest, please? In previous years, members have declared a personal interest as they have a relative who also sits as a councillor. So my advice is the following have personal interests. And again, could I ask the members to confirm that interest when their names are read? Councillors Catherine Bonera and Elizabeth Hayne are sisters.
I confirm that.
Councillors Joanne Gordon and Carl Gordon, husband and wife.
Confirm.
Thank you. And Councillors Gaynor James and John James, husband and wife. Thank you, Madam Presiding Member. Not all of the interest.
Thank you very much, Stella. Takes us to agenda item 5, which is the election of the leader of the council, which starts on page 7. The recommendation is on page 7 of the agenda to elect the leader for the forthcoming municipal year. Can I ask for a nomination for the leader, please?
Can I nominate Councillor Anthony Hunt?
Thank you. Is there only one nomination? Any other nominations? Thank you. Can I ask members whether they agree to elect Councillor Anthony Hunt for the year ahead, please? Thank you. Congratulations, Councillor Hunt. Thank you, members. Can I ask the Leader if he wishes to say anything briefly at this stage?
Thank you, Presiding Member. I would just like to say thank you to members for your support, but more importantly, I think, for your hard work and collective leadership in your wards and in the Council. I'm very much of the view that leadership is a verb and not a noun. It's a state of mind and not a position. And so all of you play a part in leading both the Council and the communities in the challenges that we face ahead. We won't always agree, but certainly I view political debate as something that doesn't mean a lack of mutual respect. And political debate, I think, is something that's very important in this chamber, so that we do test out ideas that we have. No one has monopoly on good ideas, and no one has every single idea that they have as a good idea, and I don't exclude myself from that. And I think that debate that we have both in this chamber and outside is an important part of shaping how we take our communities forward. I'd like to say a second thank you to the public for their work with us, especially to everyone who volunteers in our communities. It's an important part of our strategy as a council that we work with our communities rather than doing things to communities. And so the dedication of people who work in our communities on a voluntary basis, be that from youth groups to sporting activities, to groups for other members of the public, helping out in our environment, people like Ron Ford who help keep our borough clean, alongside our staff. A big thank you to all those people for the difference that they make, and as well for the difference they make in terms of spirit. I was very, very much drawn last week to the celebrations we had around VE Day, the 80th anniversary, and how that was made so much better by the involvement of the community and the involvement of groups from across generations, from the youngest members of the community to the oldest. I'd also like to thank our staff for their dedication, from schools to social care and communities, and countless other vital local services like libraries, the play service, revenues, benefits, and so many more. The partnership with our staff is vital to me, not just because I think that's the right thing to do, but because at the end of the day, what we do as a council is the sum total of the efforts of those members of staff. So thank you to all of our staff for going above and beyond the call of duty, for doing vital work that makes a real difference to people's lives and to our communities. I very much view our role in the next 12 months as not to be stranded victims waiting for rescue, but to innovate and improve what we do year on year to get better value for money and better outcomes for the people we serve. I'll continue to do my best to lead on that, alongside Stephen and his staff, from our federation with Blaenau Gwent to our partnership work across Gwent and beyond. So thank you very much for your support today, and I look forward to working with all members across the next 12 months.
Thank you, Leader. Takes us to agenda item 6, which is the election of the Deputy Leader of the Council, which starts on page 9. Recommendation is on page 9 of the agenda to elect the Deputy Leader for the forthcoming municipal year. Can I ask for a nomination of Deputy Leader, please?
Nominate Councillor Richard Clark.
Thank you. Is that seconded? Thank you. Any further nominations? Thank you, members. Can I ask members whether they agree to elect Councillor Richard Clark as the Deputy Leader of the Council? That's covered. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Richard. Thank you, members. Agenda item 7, the appointment of the remaining Cabinet members, which is on page 11. Can I invite the Leader to present the report, please?
Thank you, Presiding Member. I'd like to appoint the following Cabinet members. For Economy, Skills and Regeneration, Councillor Joe Gordon. For Corporate Governance and Resources, Councillor Peter Jones. For Children, Families and Education, and the Deputy Leader will take this role, so that's Councillor Richard Clark. For Communities, Councillor Fiona Cross. For Adult Services and Housing, Councillor David Daniels. For Environment, Councillor Mandy Owen. And for Waste and Sustainability, Councillor Sue Morgan.
A seconder for those nominations, please. Thank you. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Any further nominations? Thank you. Agenda item...
Apologies, Madam Presiding Member. We've got Councillor David Thomas with his hand up.
Councillor Thomas?
Thank you, Madam Presiding Member. It's just a quick one, really. I'm just wondering why you're not asking who's against anything or who's abstaining on any of these votes. Just to find it a bit odd, that's all.
A comment? Did you have a vote? That you didn't want, or that you wanted recorded, Councillor Thomas? I didn't see a hand up. That's right.
I don't want to. I don't think we need to go through the nonsense of a recorded vote. But I just thought it might have been a good idea that when you were asking who was in favour, perhaps you would also ask who was against and who was abstaining. But you haven't so far, so I'm just a little bit confused.
Councillor Thomas. I'll try and remember in future. Agenda item H, which is the political balance, starts on page 13. Jason Lewis, Corporate Director of Resources and Head of Democratic Services, could you please present this report?
Thank you, Madam Presiding Member. This report is to inform members of the political balance requirements and seek agreement to the political balance arrangements for the municipal year ahead. Legislation requires the distribution of seats on committees and subcommittees to be on the basis of political proportionality, so far as is reasonably practicable. The distribution of committee places between political groups needs to have regards to these rules. Therefore, political groups are entitled to seats on committees in proportion to their membership of the Council as a whole. The Council is required to review the political balance situation yearly at its annual meeting. The principles that guide the achievement of political balance and the calculations are described in section 4 of this report, and the calculations themselves are described in the accompanying appendix. It is therefore recommended that the Council agrees the political balance and adopts the political balance calculations attached to this report and has regards to them when appointing members to committees later in this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Any hands raised? I can't see any hands raised. The recommendations are on page 14 that the Council agrees to the political balance and adopts the political balance calculations and has regard to them when appointing members of the committee later in the meeting. Can I ask members whether they agree with these recommendations? Thank you. Anyone against those recommendations? Any abstentions? That's carried. Thank you very much. Agenda item 9, appointment of chairs of committees, which is on page 17. Can I invite the leader to nominate the chairs for the committees listed in paragraph 3.3 of the report on page 17, please? The leader will ask other group leaders after this. Thank you, leader.
Thank you, Presiding Member. I'd like to appoint the following chairs of committees. The Planning Committee is Councillor Norma Parish. The Statutory and General Licensing Committee is Councillor Steve Evans. The Pension Committee is Councillor Nathan Yole. The Democratic Services Committee is Councillor Steve Evans. I'd also like to appoint to the position of Economy and Environment Overview and Scrutiny Committee, Councillor Linda Clarkson. The Education Overview and Scrutiny Committee, Councillor Rose Seaborn. And the Cross-Cutting Resources and Business Overview and Scrutiny Committee, Councillor David Williams. I believe Councillor David Thomas would like to nominate Councillor Alan Slade as Chair of the Children and Families Overview and Scrutiny Committee. And I'll now hand over to Councillor Elizabeth Haynes for her group appointments.
Thank you, Leader. Yeah, the independent group nomination is Councillor Catherine Panera.
Thank you. Do I have seconders for those nominations? Thank you. Thought you were going to sleep then. There we go. Can I ask members if they agree with all those recommendations, please? Thank you. Anyone against? Any abstentions? That's carried. Thank you. Agenda item 10, committees, groups and other bodies. Members, the lists have been circulated as appendix. Can I ask members whether they agree with the list, please? Thank you. That's the agenda item 11, first of all. We're agreeing, okay? Everybody in agreement with it? 11. And nominations for member champions, which is agenda item 12. Can I invite the leader to nominate the members' champions list in Appendix A of the report, which has been circulated, members?
Thank you, Presiding Member. These are the lead member champions. Of course, any other members who want to get involved with any of this work, feel free to contact these people and myself, and we'll look to get members involved. And the members' training and development champion is the Chair of Democratic Services, Councillor Steve Evans. The Armed Forces champion is Councillor Gaynor James. The Carers champion, Councillor David Daniels. The Sustainability champion, Councillor Stuart Ashley. The World Heritage champion is Councillor Janet Jones. The Motor Neuron Disease champion is Councillor Giles Davis. The Dementia champion is Councillor Mandy Owen. The Gypsy Traveller Community champion is Councillor Gaynor James. The Mental Health champion is Councillor Nick Byrne. And the Violence Against Women and Girls champion is Councillor Jane Watkins.
Thank you. Are we in agreement with those nominations? Thank you. My apologies, members, I missed out agenda item 10 and 11. Agenda item 10, which is on page 19, members, the lists have been circulated for the committees, groups and other bodies. Can I ask members whether they agree with those lists? Thank you very much. Anybody against? Any abstentions? That's carried, thank you. Agenda item 11 is the nomination to outside bodies on page 23. Members, the list for this has been circulated. Can I ask if all members agree? Thank you. Anyone against? Any abstentions? Thank you very much. I did 12, didn't I? There we go. Okay, that concludes the AGM for 2025, members. Before we close the meeting properly, I'd like to congratulate Councillor Stuart Astley. He's been 10 years as Scrutiny Chair and he's stepping down this year. And we have a cake for him to join in the members' room. So if members would like to join us in the members' room for a bit of cake. Thank you very much. Meeting